Welcome back to the channel. I'm Dwania Peele.
And I'm Brooke Gordon, and this is the unofficial review of the CEO Club on Prime Video.
So, every episode, we have been breaking down the real leadership moments, the tough decisions, the wins, and the losses.
And those lessons that every entrepreneur should be paying attention to.
Yeah, and we're just here for the service level commentary, folks.
We are here for the strategy, the mindset, and that CEO level perspective.
Yes. So if you have watched the episodes, now we are on episode 8, which is the finale. And if you haven't watched any of the episodes, it's okay. We got you because we did a review for each of the previous episodes. So stay with us because we are about to unpack everything that really happened and tie it all up in a bow in this finale episode. Oh my gosh.
Oh, you know what I appreciate? Every recap is unique. Like oftentimes you watch a show and like the intro is just the same intro every time. And when it's like the little skip intro button comes on, you're like, yeah, no problem. Every single time of this was like, no, I want to see what they thought were the great highlights. And this was lovely to see Serena looped back in.
Yes, our girl is back. Now, we did say from before that, at the first episode was very Serena heavy. But then by episode 3, I believe it was, we were like, oh, we think Serena used her platform, her name, in order to introduce these ladies to us so that we can get to know more about them and what they're going through. And it was very well done because we did not see her again until now.
Yeah.
So welcome back, Serena.
And this episode starts off back with D.
Yes.
So quick recap. She had her shoe line go forward and it was a complete flop. And so here we have the opening. We're hearing about her clothing line and it is in all the major department stores, Macy's, Nordstrom's, and, talk about that closed circle. She's finally getting there. And I was just so happy for her. She's got her Hilfiger Homes book is in development. It's getting close to being launched.
It's her and her husband are collaborating on that. Yes.
Tommy Hilfiger. And what I love is that we now see her with her home line and she's arriving at the QVC and she's on her own. And that jumped out for me because everywhere else with all of these women, they're always with a full team around them and they're not. She shows up on her own. And I was like, oh, well, this is interesting.
Yeah. And I think, was it the last episode or episode before I was asking about that line, Mrs. H? Because I'm like, I think that would be so good. And I remember when it was first introduced to us and I thought the pieces were great. And, we didn't see it again. So I was very excited to see it, especially on QVC, because as far as what I've heard, QVC is very difficult to do live. But if you do it right, it will go very well.
Well, and this is why we find out why she's on her own is because she's essentially at school as a guest. So they do guest training where literally she's there to practice being live on camera and selling live because it's like she's done the pop-ups. Remember, she's doing the trunk show pop-ups in previous episodes. So it's this, but it's next level because now it's with camera and they're teaching her how to interact with the camera, how to hold things. Like it's intense.
Yes, because people are buying live and, you can't pick up a product. I'm trying to find one of our sponsors for our upcoming event. I can't pick up a product and go, oh, yes, guys, this is what we're getting. You have to hold the product to the camera and be sure that people can read what it is and describe it properly. Never block the product, right? Yep. So it was really cool. Shout out to Afroa. They will be sponsoring our upcoming brunch, and it's exciting.
Oh, if we're doing shout outs, I use their product for my face and I love it.
Yes.
Love it.
Agreed. Same high-end product. Afroa, we love you.
We really do. Also, I just want to say we talked before about normalcy. Remember when Dee and was it Lauren, I think, were having lunch and Lauren gets a bug in her hair?
Yes.
So this time we've got Dee's like, what is this? And she's looking at herself in the confidence monitor, and there's this thing, and she realizes that one of her extensions has come undone and is like falling out. And I just thought, again, you know, how many people are afraid of that moment? And you know, what's the worst that can happen? Well, the worst that can happen to her hair extension fell out while she's on camera, but it's not the final one. But I just thought, oh, I appreciate that they kept that in, because it really is, it happens to all of us.
It normalizes her. Like it
Mhm.
makes us feel like she is a real person because she's already on this pedestal because she's a hill figure and she's on the show with some amazing women. And we all, I mean, this is not my hair. So, I mean, I do remember when I started braiding my hair, telling my colleagues, hey, just remember, if you see hair on the ground somewhere, it looks like mine, just bring it to me. It's fine. You know, that is normal. So I connected.
Which is so beautiful. And I think the other place of connection is she says specifically, I'm so excited about the QVC because I'm trying to build credibility for my brand. And I thought, okay, her and all of us, like, is this not the daily, you know, it's not a grind for everybody, it is for some, but
Mhm.
just that daily activity of trying to build credibility so that people know, like, and trust and make a purchase.
Yes. And, you know, we see her go through the rehearsals, then we see her come back and do the live show. And the
Mhm.
rehearsals is with one person, but the
Mhm.
live show was with three other people, I believe.
Yeah, so there were 2 hosts from QVC, and
Mhm.
then she has a friend with her because it's her and Harry are back in the green room afterwards.
Yeah.
And I have no idea who he is, but he's like the king of perfume, I think is what.
Yeah.
And so he was on stage with her, so he must be tied in somehow, or he's selling at the same time, and they made it a thing. But I loved the layout, I loved how they set things up, I love that she brought personal stories in about her dad. And Tommy calls.
I know. And she's done. And he's like, I've been up all night waiting because he was not going to sleep without seeing how she did. And, you know, I felt the joy for her because they do support each other. And you could have, you can tell throughout the series that they do have that support. But for him to vocalize it and also to rave about the fact, he's like, no one else has sold 6.4 million in that amount of time. Like
Yeah,
he
she did. She sold out. It was
yeah,
amazing.
yeah, yeah. So
Oh,
she did an amazing job. And, you know, again, this is one of those close the circle moments because we have seen these struggles
mhm.
throughout with everything.
Yep.
And finally, in this episode, we see the win.
And it's so joyful because similar to the others, she's got multiple brand lines that she's carrying. So she's not just like, you used to have Isabella, who's like hyper focused on the, well, even then she's got 2 different things, right? All of them are multi-potentialites. They all have multiple things going on. It was just so beautiful to see her really succeed in this one. And you hear that she's succeeding the others. And we touch with her just one more time. And she says to her friends, a lot of people are thinking of retiring and I'm just ramping up.
Yeah, because she said 60 is the new 40 and 40 is the new 20.
So I'm 20.
I guess I'm 20. I don't know if I want to go back to my 20s, though. Let's be real.
No. And in fact, I thought it was great that she and Lauren have their forever 45 because I guess their birthdays are a week apart and they must be around the same age. I know
Yeah.
Lauren's 57 and in at the time of filming, and it's just so sweet that they're, you know, they've come up with this forever 45 and they're like reliving these moments, but also not like they're so focused on the future and what's next. But I feel like it's become a bit of a mantra because it's reminding them of a time in their life when they felt strong and confident and had loads of energy, and they're continuing to have that. And so it's not that they're trying to relive 45, it's that they've got 45 energy even now as they're about
Yes.
60.
Yes. D, bravo. And I mean, Mrs. H is on my list and everyone else's list. So we
Oh,
can be ready for the holidays, ready for the summer, because I'm sure there's some amazing summer things there for us.
oh, and I love the product. I love the design. It was great. It was
Yeah,
really
it was. And then from D, we go to her bestie, Lauren, and she is doing her book is finally finished.
She's wrapped up those conferences that we talked about in Taiwan. They were a massive
Yes. And
success. She's come off the
oh
plane.
my
She's had
gosh.
no sleep, and now they've got her book. So this is again team. Her
Yeah.
marketing team has her in back to back, and she sits down at page six studios,
Yes.
do her pub book podcast episode. Love that he's wearing matching colors to her book. That was so
Yes.
cool. And then literally she's like, can I change in your bathroom before I go?
She has another interview.
She's got another interview. And I think of one of my friends who's a photographer who always says, like, just swap your outfit because you are going to maximize the amount of options that you have. And you and I have done this at the photo shoots that you've arranged for Canadian small business women. And you're like, listen, change that jacket, change that top.
Yes, you have to plan everything out. You have 30 minutes. You want to do as much in that time period as possible. She has cameras on her for all these interviews, have different looks. And it doesn't have to be completely different look, but you can wear all black and switch out the jackets, put your hair up for one, put your hair down for the next. But she does maximize it.
She keeps
Do a little
jewelry.
jewelry as well, yes. And you know, I do love the title of her book, Scrambled or Sunny Side Up. Is that?
I
Yes.
think so. Yeah. And I love that even with that crazy timing, she's like, there's 7 minutes before my billboard goes up in Times Square. Can we even get there? And so they're rushing in traffic to do a quick photo shoot of her in situ with her name up on the billboard, which amazing. One of yours and my friends has done that. And it's so for those of you who don't know that that's an option, that's an option. You can pay to be on that big billboard.
Yes. Okay. So maybe not the huge one that Lauren has, but there's another one that you can pay to be on. And it is inexpensive. So if you're ever doing marketing, because I know sometimes marketers will try to charge you a lot, you have to see which billboard it is because there are quite a few. And you can get yourself on a cycle for as little as 150 US dollars.
Which is reasonable.
Yes, which is very reasonable for all those eyes. And it will cycle through for, I believe it's 24 hours.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, so it was really good. And then from there, she went to Barnes and Nobles for a book signing.
Oh, and I love that she's like, I want to cry, but I can't. And the unspoken part of that is I can't because I can't let go of my makeup because I've got more going on today.
She remembered, don't mess up the makeup. Yes. And, you know, she was also, I found it interesting that she was worried that people wouldn't show up. She's like, I just need 50 people to show up.
Well, I think it can hold 50 people max.
Yes.
But she was, and she's shocked that there's people there waiting for her. And there's friends are there, her family, her grandkids are there.
Yes.
And then she has this beautiful moment with Amber and talking about how Amber says, I'm really proud of you. And it really takes her back. Like she's like taken aback.
Yes. To know that her daughter is proud of her. And I like the conversation that they had too, asking, you know, like, what would JR think about this? And they both were like, he might, you know, one said, oh, he'll be cheering me on. And Amber, I think, was like, oh, he's going, what's next?
Yeah, I totally believe that. And you get that sense that there is what's next because you don't get to a company that big without constantly pushing for what's next.
Yes.
There's a couple pieces in this that just I loved. We'll touch on maybe the ending at the end, but there's you see Lauren, Serena, and Dee together, and you have a little bit of a closed circle moment with them.
But back on the boat where we started.
It is. And so Lauren's gotten her boat out of storage. So you get the feeling that it's now ready for sale. Like, because this is another piece that she's trying to close. And what I love about it is she gets up and she's literally like holding her pants, right? And kind of waddling around. And she's like, I snapped the button on my pants.
Again, another human moment.
And they left it in, and every time she stands up to give them a hug, she's got to like grab her pants as they come back down. And it just brought me so much joy. And they're so normal. They're normal people. And how many of us have had something like some kind of a wardrobe malfunction along those lines? And that to me was just such a beautiful moment.
Mm-hmm. And I love their conversation. This is also where Serena comes back into the story.
Mm-hmm.
I love their conversation because then you have Dee celebrating the book launch and, congratulating Lauren and also saying how much she admired Serena's foreword. And, you have Serena talking to both of them about what they're doing, but then they bring up, oh my gosh, Serena, you were in the Super Bowl. And, Lauren's like, I don't even know who played, but I just had to keep rewinding that moment. And it was like, the best 10 seconds ever of the Super Bowl. I'm just throwing that out there.
And for her too, right? For her too. And I thought, we talk about what is it that makes this program real? What are the wins, the losses? Dee's had a lot of losses. She's had a couple of wins. One of Lauren's wins is she shares with them that her book has made it to the New York Times bestselling list in its first week.
Yeah.
And she's shocked that people wanted to buy and read it. So that humility, that recognition shows up again.
Yeah, definitely. Mm-hmm. Definitely.
So beautiful.
I don't know if there's anything else about Serena on that. Oh, I do love, after their conversation, because she went into the details of how she was able to even be a part of the Super Bowl. And if you don't know the history of all of this moment, Serena, while playing, they would pretty much tell her she's too loud, quote unquote, just with her fashion, her image. And that's also why she got into, makeup. And that's why she also likes fashion, because there's only so much you can do on the tennis court when it comes to your makeup, because you're sweating all of it on. So she would wear beads and wear, really, like, she would fancy up her tennis attire so that she can express herself. And her eyeliner, she always had the cat eyes and her eyebrows. Those were the things that were very important to her. So she would, I believe it was it at a US Open or was it as a French Open? I think it was at a US Open. She did the Crip Walk after, and so that's a dance made famous by Snoop Dogg, after one of her matches, and they frowned at her and tried to make it seem like she was being unprofessional when she was just celebrating her win. So the fact that Kendrick Lamar, who's also from Compton, who is like, he was the headliner for the Super Bowl, he's like, you know what? We're representing Compton. I want you to come and crypt walk so that everyone can see that you are that girl and that it's okay to do that. You're celebrating. So of course she said yes, and she did that. And everyone was so excited to see it, because it is like, that is Black culture right there. Everyone remembers that moment. And everyone remembers also the moment that Serena was criticized for doing it on the tennis court. So this was her reclaiming that. And I love the joy. Yeah.
Love it, because you think about unprofessional behavior of so many of the men who are like breaking rackets on the court, which is fine, but she celebrates and she's criticized for it. And this is, again, so typical. And yeah, this has driven her to create a beautiful product like this series.
Yes, like the series, and like her makeup line Win, right? Because she's now able to say, and she also put the pieces together of, we had a surge in sales. We had a surge in people following us on social media. And it was really good that I was doing something active while wearing Win, so that it can help to be used to promote Win. So it all tied together. It's all about that strategy of figuring out the way how you can use all of the opportunities you're given to promote your brand. And she did that.
She does. And she talks about how that makeup was her warrior armor, right? I've got my cat eye, I've got some blush, I've got a little bit of lipstick, and now I can face the world. And
Yes.
I loved that. I also loved, again, those real moments, and they show us a clip from her social media where she's like, I have to go to the bathroom and I'm about to go out. How could I possibly need to go at just the wrong moment? And how, again, normal is that?
That is.
You have to go to the bathroom. You've had kids, you got to go to the bathroom. Like, there's so many layers to this one, like, not even 2-second moment on camera. And it made her so real.
Yeah. And then in explaining all this, she had to leave the party on the boat because she's like, I have to go pick up my kids. What did she call herself? Serena, I got to get my kids Williams.
Got to get to the kids Williams. I love it. That's the nickname she's given herself.
Yes.
And we see some of her humility, right? She talks about how she's building momentum. She's partnering. She's trying to find other organizations that she can partner with to get the outreach that she needs. And Super Bowl turns out to be a beautiful example of that. Shopify as a pop-up is the other one. And doing a, help me with the words, makeup masterclass. Is that what it would be called? And I love that because they interview her first beforehand, and that's where we hear a little bit more about the her armor. But she has such a beautiful quote in this, and it reminded me of what we were just talking about with JR. So she says, in her venture, so she invests a lot in venture companies, and she says, I always tell all of the founders, if you ever get to a point of asking yourself, I don't know if I can do this, or why am I doing this, that's a good position to be in. It means you're on the right path. And if you never get there, it means you need to do more.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So powerful.
Yes. It was really good to have her to be a part of the closeout of this series, because I do think she was who drew a lot of people to the series to begin with. So it was also nice to see her wrap things up a little bit in a bow, because you got to see that Shopify component, which I rewound, and I wanted to see all the little things that were there, because marrying Shopify with the makeup brands, but having all these cute little tennis favors, I thought that was really cute and well done.
And I love in those moments. So, we keep talking about sort of closing the circle. And so she was at the beginning and now she's at the end. And she says also, the success of one woman should be the inspiration to the next.
Yes.
But then we also hear her talking about how she wants to be an average mom for Olympia.
I know.
Yeah.
I don't know how that's going to fare. You're not average at all.
No, she's not average. And then we see this tiny little clip in her montage wrap up. They go back to a conversation she had with Lauren, where she's saying you have to stand by your vision, even when things aren't going the way you want to, or when the people around you have a different vision to you. And there's a clip about her saying, I have to pivot and I need to let these people go because they're not matching to my vision. And then she says, it's not a bad thing. And it's always so hard to assemble the team. Team has been such a huge part of this, but she's also saying above team is your vision.
Yeah.
Right? Your values, it's your vision, it's your mission. That actually is the piece. And if the team's not aligned to that, then you don't have the right team.
Exactly. That is definitely the lesson that a lot of entrepreneurs need to take, because sometimes we do feel sad or have a hard time letting go. We talked about just letting go of stuff in the previous episode. The same rules apply to letting go of people, because we have the emotional tie. And we do have to, even as women, it's hard for us, but we have to separate that business from the emotional component, because if we're trying to win in business, sometimes we have to remove the emotional piece. We're not saying all the time, but in some instances we do.
Yeah, it is hard.
Yeah.
And then we come back to Winnie.
I know, this is our closing. We come back to Winnie, and this one brought some tears, okay? Winnie got a call from Madame Tussauds Museum, and they want to do a wax figure of her. That is an honor.
Oh, yes. And it's to celebrate her uniqueness and the fact that she has been breaking barriers. The thing that's so important to her is the thing she's being recognized for.
Yes. And, we see her go to meet with the team so that she can pick out, what image she wants them to recreate. And I love the fact that she spoke to them about the fact that, with vitiligo, her skin changes over time. And how does that look? And without skipping a beat, they said, whenever you feel like it's time for us to change the image, we'll change it.
And
And
recognize it's an evolution and
yeah,
honor that. Oh, I know. That really brought so much joy for me.
yeah. And she decided that she wanted to do the unveiling on National World Vitiligo Day.
Hmm.
And she gets there, she walks in, and she sees quite a bit of people there waiting for her and cheering her on. People who she's seen at all the other conferences and all the other activations that she has done to talk about vitiligo. And one guy in particular, I was actually going to look him up, but I forgot. In particular, he was there waiting with flowers for her and saying, I was not going to miss this. I had to be here. And, she obviously they know each other, and she's looking around and all she's seeing are people in that community
Hmm.
there to cheer her on and support her.
I know. And we have Hannah comes back into this episode at this
Yes.
moment. And just to and oh my word, is it a likeness. And Hannah's got her like one arm around each of them and just outright says, you look so beautiful. And it looks so beautiful, right? The wax
Yeah.
looks so beautiful. And you really see her mission literally coming to life in this moment of them creating a wax twin for her. And that for me was just so beautiful. And then Hannah says, you are making an impact everywhere you go, and you are the greatness you put out into the world. And then they start talking about little Winnie and the book and how everything for her is about supporting the little girl that she's been,
Yeah.
who wanted to see all of this. And I was like, oh my.
Yeah. I don't think that entire segment, my eye was dry because, from just the welcome, the introduction to her speech, to the unveiling, to her post unveiling speech, to her interaction with Hannah, and just her feeling so overwhelmed when she's able to look at, she kept doing this with the hair because she's like looking like this is really this is me. And it
Just
was a spitting image of her. They did an amazing job.
It's so fascinating. I had no idea she had a tattoo. They're measuring, literally measuring every part of her,
Yeah.
and it's really, yeah, it just blew me away to see what it can look like when what you do is so deeply aligned with a really clear mission
Yeah.
and your why is so sharp. And so here it's representation and representation in many different forms. So now, because of that work in modeling, in creating the book, in having skincare, she now has this wonderful, beautiful opportunity to be immortalized in wax because of her advocacy work.
Yeah, yeah. And it also lets people know whenever they approach Winnie with an opportunity, they need to make sure that they understand her values before they approach her, because she's not going to agree to do anything that
Mhm.
is outside of that value, that mission that she's on. So kudos,
Yeah.
Winnie Harlow.
Oh, yes. And we've talked before about how there was a couple times that she felt like a starfish, but when it comes time for her mission, yes, in her life, she feels pulled between career and family and children. But when it comes to what it is that she's focusing on her mission, a yes and a no are really clear filters.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. I know.
And then we wrap at
The birthday party,
the
the forever.
birthday party.
I love this. You and I talked from the very beginning that we had a feeling that Lauren was going to be the through line through the whole story, not Serena. And we got
Mhm.
that episode 1 hinted, episode 2 we were sure.
Yeah.
And this was 100% it.
Yeah. Because I mean, I don't know if you noticed, but in the last 2 episodes, we didn't get Isabella, but Isabella showed up at the party. So we had Lauren, we had Dee, because they did a joint party. We had Winnie, Isabella, Hannah.
Mm-hmm. Serena's there. Everyone's there. The whole cast is there.
Whole cast is there except Serena. I don't believe Serena was there. No.
Oh, Talia's not there. She phones in.
Yes, Talia phones in.
Talia
Yes.
phones in. I could have sworn she was there. I could be wrong.
I don't remember seeing her there.
Wasn't. And I love that. I love that the message is about friendship and love.
Yeah.
And you have Dee saying, anyone who's a friend of Lauren's is a friend of mine.
Yes.
She's the sister that I never had. And I'm like, not wanting this series to end, hoping that they make a series 2. Hello, if you're listening, we want a series 2. And just loved seeing how this all came together.
Yes, it's really, they built a sisterhood. And I like the fact that, not just in business, everyone can learn from each other, but just in life, because, you have Winnie in the life component. I'm not putting on the bottom in the entrepreneurship component. Life component, you're just really starting out with your life. Then right above Winnie, you have the tie-in between Hannah and Isabella.
Mm-hmm.
Then right above them, you would have Serena, I would say, in terms of life.
Yeah.
Then above that, I would say you'd put Talia and Lauren. So at different stages in their lives, all these ladies can learn about each other. And Dee is in that top stage as well with them. Well, Dee could be in between a little bit because she has both grown children and children, right?
7.
The Brady Bunch.
I know.
So in life, they can learn from each other in different stages. And then in entrepreneurship, there is an abundance of things that they can learn from each other. So I do like this sisterhood, and I am interested to see what happens next for all of them.
Well, and as you say that, Lauren, we have like an interview with Lauren to sort of wrap up where things are at. And she says, women inspire to their women inspire women to let me do this again. Inspire women to their greatness to become anything that they want. I'm excited to watch it unfold. And I thought, yeah, that's what this entire show has been about. It's about inspiring women to their greatness and then watching that cascade and ripple and unfold in front of us.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
It was beautiful. It was really beautiful.
Yes. And this final episode is Here's to Her. And yeah, here's to her. You are her. Okay. Remember that.
True. It's true. You are the woman who is great and will continue to live into their greatness.
Yeah. So now we can't only rate this episode, we have to rate the entire series and give our final synopsis. What do you think, Brooke?
Oh, I want a season 2. I mean, that's it. I want a season 2. I want to see how these women grow and progress. I appreciate that it's probably not the next year because it takes time to build the momentum that they have. But 2 years from now, would I love to see another one and see where they're at? Absolutely, I would, because I want to see how their priorities have shifted between life and work. I want to see how and celebrate how the momentum has been happening for their business, because each one of them, we've got Talia, who's well established. We've got Lauren, who's well established. We've got Dee, who's trying to lift off so many things. We've got Isabella, who's trying to lift off. We've got Serena, who's trying to lift off. We've got all of them are literally lifting off. But then we've got these moments of mentorship as well, and not even just mentorship within the friendships, mentorship within family, where we've got Amber taking over some of the lines,
Yeah.
just so much. And I want to know how they're doing, and I want to know that they're doing well, and I want to celebrate these women as they unfold in their greatness.
Well, there are a lot of ways that they can approach this for the next season. I would love to get an update, but I also think it would be interesting to have an update on the entire group, yes, but maybe there can be some people who can graduate and we
Mhm.
can bring other people into the fold. So, more newbies into the fold, and to see how the newbies from this season impact the newbies for next season. So we can still get a little update, but bring some other people in so that we can be introduced to some other entrepreneurs and see what other people are doing, because there are a lot of people out there doing great things.
Mhm.
And it would be great if they partnered with, the only thing that comes to mind, partner with a certain brand that, well, no, because if this is Serena's show, we have to keep it that way, because Serena Ventures
Mhm.
is her
But this is the funnel. Who in her venture fund
right.
has been flourishing that can become showcased? And
Mhm.
you start to see those mentorship moments where this was about personal connection and business fitting together and blending. And
Yeah.
so what does that look like when you just keep growing with mentorship, and you have people where it may have started as professional mentorship and grown into friendship? So I'm
Mhm.
confident there are more women in her circle to be celebrated and showcased. And I would love to see them. I would love to learn about them. I would love to learn about their product, about their lives, about their wins, their challenges, their mindset, all the
Mm.
things that we've been digging into.
Agreed. So series 2 must happen, because series 1 was amazing. I loved everything about it. I'm like, why am I ringing? I loved everything about it. So maybe it's the season 2 folks calling me. Hello?
Oh, lovely. Lovely.
I'm available.
You and I will have so much celebration, my darling.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Ah, so it's
And
a wrap.
I know. I know. And we want to hear from you. What did you think? Oh, do you want a season 2, or is it just us? Do you agree? Do you disagree? What would you have done differently in terms of the ending? Um,
Yes.
what circles were not closed for you? What was left dangling that you were like, oh, this one thing was sitting with me, or maybe a couple things were sitting with you, and you want to know how they get resolved?
Yes, and please let us know everything in the comments. Let us know if you're an entrepreneur with some great idea and you think you'd be a really good fit for season 2, because you never know, right? You don't know who's watching. You never know. And make sure that you subscribe. Make sure you share this with others. And this is a wrap on these conversations, is it, Brooke?
Oh, I know we're not going to see you in the next episode of this particular moment. However, obviously, the boardroom conversations don't stop when the camera goes out, and neither do we.
Right. So we're going to see you in something else, though. Might not be the next episode, but we'll see you in something else. Bye for now.